So we are moving on to number 5. Again, still just a plain fraction, so therefore you need to factor it out. 12y minus 8 over 15y minus 10. Okay, so the top one is a binomial, one term, two term, second term, first term, second term. So therefore, if you have multiple terms, you just need to factor out the common factor. What's in the 12y that's also in the 8, that would be 4. So you factor out the 4. So therefore, you have 3y minus 2. But remember, 4 can also be factored out some more, right? You can also factor out 4 into a 2 times 2. So you can do it that way. Now 15y minus 10, so that would be common factor of 5. Yes, 5. So now you will have 3y minus 2. Okay, so the top has 3 factors, the bottom one has 2 factors. The one that's common is this. So therefore your final answer will be, and you try to get the final answer. Okay, see if you can factor out some more. Okay, all right, so let's move on to the next one, number 6. So this is multiplication or division. Number 6 is multiplication. So you have one fraction 1 over 2x plus 7. So try to observe first before diving into writing the problem. Just look at it carefully first. So you have two fractions, one fraction, another fraction. So that means you have two denominators and two numerators to work with. So you need to factor each one of those. All right, so 10x plus 7 over 3. Okay, so from here you can write out C that they're partly factored out. So this will cancel out with that. So you can rewrite it by saying 1 over 2 is left. The 10 over 3, the 10 can be factored out as 2 times 5 over 3. And so now you can factor out some more and then multiply whatever is left. Okay, so number 7. Okay, so this is a division. So when you write it, I saw that when you were doing it before, you were already flipping it. So that's great. So I'm going to copy that way. X, 2x minus 8. And I'm going to flip this now. 3x minus 12 over 5. Okay, so now we will factor out two numerators and two denominators. So my first numerator is x. I can't really factor that anymore other than x and 1. And then the denominator, you have a binomial. So therefore, you will have to find the common factor between 2x and 8, and that would be 2. So you have x minus 4 here. Okay, times 3x minus 12 is again a binomial. So what is common? You have 3. So you have x minus 4 inside the parentheses. 5 is just 5 times 1. So that's it. Okay, so let's factor out the common ones, this and that. So therefore, what is left? Okay, moving on to number 8. All right, so you have again a multiplication, two numerators, two denominators. Okay, so get ready for a lot of factoring here. They look like relatively bigger numbers. Over 30 minus 35x. Okay, all right, so the top one, you have 12 and 14, so the common one would be 2. So let's factor out the 2. So you will have 6 minus 7x. 4 is 2 times 2 times the second factor, 6x and 8. Again, another binomial, so your common factor will be 2. And then you have 3x plus 4. Okay. 30 minus 35x, again, another binomial. The common factor will be 5. Okay, so you have 6 minus 7x. And so we can start canceling stuff. So this 2 and that 2 will cancel out. 6 minus 7x and this one. This 2 and that 2. And I think that's all we can cancel. And see which one is left. All right, moving on to number 9 and number 10. Okay. Number 9 is addition or subtraction. This is the one where you need to do the dots if they don't have the same denominators. And that's the same thing here. Don't have the same denominator. Number 10, they have the same denominator, so that is a lot easier. Okay. So let's do number 9 first. So you have 2 over x plus 1 over 2x. Okay, we can factor this one right now. The x is just x, the 2x is 2 times x. So therefore, we will have this as 1 dot, dot 1 dot, 2 is 2 dots, okay? All right, so now we will rewrite the common denominators. So you have 2x here, copy the numerators, and then do the circle thingy. So therefore you need to multiply this by 2, and this one right here is just the same thing. All right, so once you have done the circle, we will copy the whole thing with the same denominator, and then it's like writing a line over there. So that would be 2 times 2 is just 4 plus 1. So therefore your final answer is, and I'd like to complete that. Okay. Now, again, my advice for you is do this on your own, even after you watch the video, and see if you can redo it on your own, if you needed the video anyway. If not, then that would be a lot greater, a lot better. All right, 3 over x plus 3, this is number 10 now, minus 2x plus 3. Okay, so now they have the same denominator. Also notice that the top is just monomial. There is not it's not two terms here nor here. So therefore, you don't need to put that in parentheses. But you can write them both in the same denominator, just like as if you would put a bar here. And so now you have 3 minus 2, which is now equal to 1 over 3, x plus 3. Alrighty. Okay, so good luck working on that one. And then I will see you. Let me see. I'll probably just set the other set. That way you only have two videos to watch. Okay, so let's do this one right here. Let's continue on. All right, I'm only gonna do all the way to 15 because I think the equation one you're good with it. Okay, so number 11. So you have, this is subtraction of a whole number and a fraction. So you can write the 3 as 3 over 1. So 3 over 1 minus 7 over 4x. So again, addition and subtraction, this is the one where you have to do the dots if they don't have the same denominators. Okay, so this can be factored out as that. Okay, so now we can rewrite this. This is 1 dot, 2 dots, and then 3 dots, okay? So minus, also the 7 here is just monomial, so therefore you don't need to put that in parentheses. All right, our common factor is 1 times 4 times x, which is just 4x, and then 1 times 4 times x, we will just follow that. And copy the numerators, okay? And then we will now do the circle. I guess I should have written the 1 here as well. Although 1, I mean, 1 is 1, right? So I'm gonna put 1 times 4 times x, 1 times 4 times x, okay? Just to make a point. All right, so now we will circle this, okay? So therefore, we will multiply this with 4x, and we will circle that. Therefore, we will multiply that with 1. Okay, so now you can, so it's like you put a bar here, extend, so that you can join them in one denominator. So you have 4x, 1 times 4 times x is 4x. The top one, you need to multiply that. So you have 12x minus, copying that minus sign, 7 times 1 is 7. And there's really nothing you can do after that, okay? All right, number 12. So you have x over 2 minus x minus 5. Again, this is a subtraction. 3x plus 1 over x minus 5. Okay? Again, subtraction, addition, you need to make sure that the denominators are fully factored out, and if they have the same denominator. If not, you will have to do the dots. Also, check the numerator. The top one is a binomial, so therefore enclose that in parentheses right now, just to make sure you don't forget about it. Okay, so now this is fully factored actually. So 2 is 1 dot, x minus 5, that's a second. Those are 2 dots. Okay, so put that here, minus, minus. Okay, so your common factors are, denominators are 2 times x minus 5, 2 times x minus 5. Copy the numerators, and 3x plus 1. Okay, so now we will do the circle. So do not forget to do the circle. This is just the same. This one is just here. So therefore, you need to multiply that by 2. So the next part is we will just copy the denominator as 1. okay? And then you're gonna pretend that you'll extend this so that everything above that you'll just have to practically write x minus 2, 3x plus 1. Now, the numerator needs to be simplified. So remember, PEMDAS, you multiply first, right? I'm gonna copy the denominator, x minus 5, 2 here, okay? And then I'm gonna simplify this. So you have x minus 6x minus 2. Combining like terms, you have x minus 6x is negative 5x minus 2 over 2x minus 5. Now, do you have that in your choices? Not really, so there's got to be something that you need to do and see if you can figure that one out. Alrighty, number 13. Okay, can find the pen. Okay, again, this is addition. They don't have the same denominator. Okay, 17x over 6x plus 18. They don't have the same denominator, therefore we need to factor them out. Okay, all right, so x is just x plus 3. There's really nothing you can do with that, so you can just copy x plus 3, but put that inside parentheses because it's a binomial. Now 6x minus 18, you can factor out 6, and then you will have x plus 3. Copy the numerators, okay? And so now we will do the dots. So one dot here, one dot there, and then 6 will have two dots, okay? So now you will have your common denominators are, we will rewrite them, 6x plus 3, 6x plus 3. Copy the numerators, okay? And then do the circle. This is the circle. So you will multiply this top by 6. And this is just the same thing. So now we're ready to put them in the same denominator. Oops. Okay, where's my pen? All right, so this is just as if you're doing that, extending that. So 6x plus 3, and then 6x, because 6 times x is 6x, plus 17x. Well, these two and these two can combine, and that would become 23x over 6x plus 3. Now, this is already an answer, but I don't think it's going to be there, so you need to do a little bit more simplifying on that. All right, number 14, last two questions on this review video. Okay, so it says, tell whether each pair of the expressions are equivalent. Okay, so I'm just going to do this part right here. Okay, so because this is already simplified. So you have 5x over 3 times 6 over 11x times x over 10. Okay, so this is just multiplication of three fractions. So all you got to do is really factor out. Every time you multiply, you have to factor things out and see if something cancels out. So the 5x is 5 times x. The 3 is just 3 times. I'm going to get rid of the parentheses and just use a dot. 6 is 2 times 3. 11x is 11 times x times x over 10 is 2 times 5. Okay, so let's cancel things out from left to right. The reason I want you to do left to right is because it's more organized and you're not missing anything. Okay, so if I do 5 first, I look for every 5 for a 5 in the denominator. And then next is x, so that you're basically going through, sweeping through it. Okay, now you have 2, and then you have 3, and then you have x, no more x because that was already canceled. So therefore, whatever is left is what is left. Okay, so you can decide if they are equivalent. Okay, number 15. So you have 4z minus 3 over 3 minus 4z. Here we go again. 4c here is positive, here is negative. 3 here is negative, there is positive. So all you need to do is factor out the top one, okay, or the bottom one. You just have to factor out one of them. Okay, I'm gonna factor out the top one with a negative 1. Okay, and then I'm gonna leave the denominator the same. So just factor out one of them. Okay, and it doesn't really matter which one. All right, so now you do, this is positive, all right? So positive 4z divided by negative 1, that will become negative 4z. And then negative 3 divided by negative 1 is positive 3. So now you can decide, is there anything that you can cancel? And if so, is the final answer equivalent to that? Okay, so this is the end of the tutorial for, for the review for lesson 60. Good luck, and I will send you this ahead of 61. I'll send you 61 later.